Let's head to Wellington now, where our business editor Giles Beckford is standing by with the latest. Hi Giles, official figures out today show the country hasn't needed to borrow quite so much.
Good evening to you, John. Yes, it's the second quarter current account or balance of payments numbers. They are a broad measure of how we pay our way in the world. It measures the gap between what we earn overseas and what we borrow, what we owe. And the latest figures show that we had a deficit of around $618 million for the quarter. The annual deficit is just around $7.5 billion. If we take that as a proportion of the value of the economy, that's about 2.8%. Now, years ago, not so long ago, mind you, that deficit was 8 and 9% of GDP. That's the sort of numbers that make Standard & Poor's and Moody's of this world go away and cry in a corner, and then they cut your credit rating and you pay more to borrow overseas. We have the tourism boom and the rebound in dairy exports in particular to thank for the latest improvement. It's still not the greatest, remembering that places such as Japan and Germany run big current account surpluses. That's what gets Donald Trump all of hot and bothered. But for the time being, by New Zealand standards, 2.8% is pretty good. And it means that we're just not borrowing quite so much to finance our lifestyle.
Giles, Japanese office equipment company Fuji Xerox is taking former New Zealand managers to court. This has been fascinating, this saga, hasn't it?
It has indeed. If you remember, these are the New Zealand and Australian operations who, shall we say, engaged in some creative accounting.
Yep.
And that cost Fuji Xerox in Japan, the parent company, more than $350 million over several years. Now, they didn't know about them. They just sort of, quietly emerged, bang. Look what your Antipodean operations have been doing. And it centres on the overstatement of revenue, the way some contracts were written, pricing of contracts as well. It did go right to the top of Fuji Xerox, the chairman of the company. He resigned, as did several other senior executives. A lot of other people there took pay cuts. So they're looking to obviously recover something from their former New Zealand employees. Excuse me. They're not saying what they're wanting, not saying how much they're chasing, nor are they naming the people that they're suing. It's a civil matter. It will in due course emerge through the High Court. But for the time being, Fuji Xerox is still wearing the cost of that because they've been suspended from bidding for new jobs, new contracts for the New Zealand government. So it's not been a happy saga for them.
No, it hasn't been. And what happened on the markets today, Giles? I haven't heard anything today.
Our top 50 index for shares, quite strong, up 55 points at 0.7%, 7819. So we were within 70 or so points of record territory. The New Zealand dollar trading sideways, 73.1 US and 91.1 Australian.
Giles Beckford, our business editor, thank you.